Shifters. I'm Fran Holinda.
And I'm Lisa A.
And it's time to Make Shift Happen, the after show.
Wow.
Woo, that sounds exciting. So today's after show is really exciting for us because we have a very special guest. We have, I hate to just say musician, Robert Berry,
right.
because this is a gentleman who has been on the music scene for a very long time and has put out some unbelievable music. And now he's got a new album out. We still call them albums, I think, right?
Yeah, we still do.
We'll find out what exactly they call it. But it's a new release entitled "The Rules Have Changed." And
I love that title.
I love it. And and the song, by the way, is awesome. It's a collaboration with Keith Emerson, who had passed away.
Yes.
Under the name of the band is 3.2.
Ooh, 3.2.
So let's bring him on the line with his cup of coffee in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Berry.
The coffee is in hand. Hey, and that rhymes with Fran. It's in hand, Fran.
Oh, you are such a poet. See, this is why you're a songwriter.
There you go. Already writing it already.
That's okay. I'll let you write a song and dedicate it to me. That's fine.
There you go.
Good morning, Robert.
So good morning to you, Sarah. And in sunny California, I take it?
Yes, it's not that sunny. It's probably, I hate to upset you, maybe it's 52 degrees right now because it's morning, so.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah. There.
Oh, you poor thing. We're freezing our jingle bells off over here.
What's the temperature there?
It was 30-something when I was outside.
Yeah, I think it's still about in the high 30s. But a crisp high 30s.
Yeah, crisp.
Very crisp.
We're crisp. Let's just put it this way. Your coffee would be cold brewed.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, yeah. I'm trying to think if we ever get to 30. I think we do when you get up to Tahoe where there's snow. But here, I'm right in the middle of Silicon Valley, which is, I say, like a half a mile from me, one way is eBay, where it started. A half a mile the other way is Netflix, where it started. 2 miles away is the big Apple campus that they just built, the big spaceship. I mean, I'm right in the heart of all that.
You really are.
Wow, that's
kind
cool.
of an odd place for a musician.
Now, isn't Google there too, or no? No?
Well, I started here when, high tech was around, but they hadn't taken over our orchards and everything else, because this was really a fruit orchard area, and we supplied the fruit to the world at one point. They called it the Valley of the Heart's Delight.
Huh.
Yeah,
now you have a different kind of apple.
An apple you can't eat.
Boy.
An apple you pay a lot of money for.
That's why they called it apple.
Yes, I guess.
There were fruit trees everywhere.
Wow.
So I have to ask, we have to know, are you feeling Christmassy this year? We had on our regularly scheduled program, we've been talking about how it just seems that people are just not in the holiday spirit this year.
That's a little different from me because I have a band called December People, and we take, I'll give you an example. We mash up songs. It's all guys from famous bands. We do it for charity. So we take, like, Billy Idol's White Wedding, and we mash White Christmas into it. And it sounds,
I love it.
Yeah, and it sounds just like Billy Idol should have had it on his album. It's like to say they fit like a glove, some of these. We have Angel We've Heard on High has done like Journey, Don't Stop Believing. We have Little Drummer Boy done like ELP. We do a 2-hour show. Like I said, we do it for charity. And the guitar player from Boston, Gary Thiel, the drummer from Sammy Hagar, which is David Lauser, and Dave Med is the keyboard player for the Tubes. He's our keyboard player. And a guy named Jack Foster has a great solo career. And we go out and we play for charity. So it's kind of Christmas all the time, starting in November for us. And interesting enough, everybody is ready for the happiest time of the year to start. When we get out there, we start early in November, and they're wearing hats, Santa hats and all kinds of stuff. So it's been a little different out here, actually.
Wow, that's awesome. And I love mashups. I would love to hear that. Do you have that somewhere streaming where I can listen to it? Yes,
you can find that probably anywhere, but the fun place to find on YouTube, look for Billy Idol. So how would it be logged in? Well, December People, White Christmas.
Okay.
Just look for that.
Awesome.
And you'll hear it and see the video that was done. Then there's a couple others. There's The Journey, Angels We've Heard on High, but December People, Angels We've Heard on High. There's a really fun one that was done last year. Is Tom Petty's, is it Running on a Dream? So it's, I guess, December People, what is the song? Oh, it's Silver Bells.
Oh, geez.
Wow, that
well,
must be
probably
really
just
cool.
looking up December, people would
probably
give us
pull up everything.
So that's another name that we've lost. I mean, you really have quite a catalog of friends when you start dropping those names. You know everybody in the business. That's anybody.
I'm the luckiest guy you never heard of. I don't know how it's happened in my life, but I get to play with all these guys. Because I'm a songwriter and I'm sort of prolific with ideas, let's say. When I sit down with somebody, I have lots of ideas, lots of lyrics, lots of song ideas, and it's sort of kept me viable in the industry, working with a lot of good people.
Well, this new album, do they still call them albums? Because I call them albums.
Yeah, actually, an album is anything that's sort of a collection, like photos.
It's true.
So it works. Yeah, it's not a record maybe anymore, but we call it a record too.
Yeah, I still think of vinyl in my head.
Exactly.
I can't help. I'm old school, but this new one, the rules have changed. This seems like a love letter in a sense to your late friend.
I like that. No one's ever said that. I've done hundreds of interviews now on it, and no one's ever said it like that. And it's certainly with a labor of love, and it's important to me to honor Keith and show what a lovely guy he was. And really, at the time that I finished up the lyrics, there was a lot of sort of pain in my life through it. You got to figure back in 1988, Keith and I had a band called 3, and we had a top 10 song. So for the starting of my career, that was the most fantastic start I could ever have.
Yeah, really,
and
sure.
Our friendship through the 27 years until we started working on the next one, we did all kinds of things together. But then he was gone, and to do the follow-up was so important to me. And all of a sudden, boom, the rug was pulled out, and I not only lost my most famous friend, the inspiration when I was young. I was a keyboard player, and he inspired millions of keyboard players because he made it cool to play keyboards by throwing on his back and stabbing knives in it and everything, It was really but, the rest of the keyboard players stood behind the keyboard, just stood there and played.
Yeah.
Not Keith Emerson,
Yeah, he put on a show about it. Exactly.
No, he definitely made it. He definitely made it his own, and gave it a new feel for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I lost a ton of things. A young kid's inspiration, a middle-aged or younger guy, first hit song, and a great friendship. So it was a tough one for me to finish up, and I think it does show in the lyrics, which is what you're referring to when you say to love. Mm-hmm. It was put into it, and it really was important to me to get it right. To do what we had planned to do was so important to me because we had laid it all out. We had 5 songs written. We had, oh my God, I had 20 or 30% of his keyboards done, and we were just really moving ahead. And all of a sudden, boom.
There's one song on the album called "Our Bond." So is that something you wrote after, or was that already in the work? I'm not sure the timing of the songs, all of them. Some of the lyrics there's no question are after his passing because they're so obvious. It's like your pain, you're working out your pain and your feelings through everything. Which is, by the way, I think for people who are creative, such as yourself, whether it's a song, a poem, a novel, a movie, anyone who can articulate their feelings and put them into words for other people, I think is an amazing gift.
Well, I will say Our Bond is exactly that. It was after he had died, and I was seeing the outpouring of love, not only as a musician and the greatest keyboard player in rock there ever was, but for the human being. Keith seemed very accessible. Everybody felt like they knew him, even if they didn't. And he was such a wonderful guy. I was surprised by that. And I thought, I'm going to write some kind of tribute, just put on Facebook and Instagram and all the social medias that includes everybody. Not only how I'm feeling, I'm going to try to include how all his fans are feeling. And so I put a bunch of quotes in there from ELP songs like Tarkus and Fanfare and Hoedown, and then I put a bunch of quotes in there from songs that Keith and I had done together on the first album, and I tried to weave that thread through the whole thing of the song and the lyric and what he meant to us. So that was written afterwards. But some of the lyrics on the whole album were changed afterwards from what they originally started with. So,
that's awesome that you did that, though. That was really, really nice. You know.
Well, what you've done is you've kept his legacy, so to speak, alive. I mean,
Exactly.
he's got a body of work that's unmatchable by anyone. But this, I think, brings it out to a group of people who are now going to listen to this album, and then they're going to go and they're going to find more, and they're going to want to know more. So you really are keeping him alive and keeping his music alive,
well,
and that's wonderful.
That's the hard part for me, actually, because it was tough for the 6 months after he died for me to really get going again. I just couldn't get myself to work on it. But then once I got going, he was alive again in my heart and my mind, because while I was recording the album, I'm sitting there in my studio saying, okay, what would Keith do here?
Right.
What would we have talked about? If I would have said this, what would he have said back, and vice versa? Because we had spent so much time, especially on the first album, writing and working in his house in England. He had a studio and a big barn. It was a beautiful place. And I remember all that because it was so important to me. So I would have those conversations for a year all by myself, with playing both characters kind of. And it came out the way it did because of that, because I still felt him. But now with all the interviews and all the time that I spend speaking about the album, I'm afraid that once the album has run its course, middle of next year or whatever, I'm going to feel the loss again. I can't help it.
Well, when someone touches your life, I mean, how fortunate are you? And you've said it, the luckiest person, right? To have known and to have someone in your life like that. He'll never completely go away, because no matter what you do from this point on, he's going to be he's going to be a part of it, because he's a part of you. It doesn't sound like you can separate yourself from him, even if you wanted to at this point. So I wouldn't think of it that way.
That is so true. But let me tell you, the day before the album was going to come out, I didn't finish the album to have it released. I finally, after 6 months of grieving, said, you know what? We have so much of this done. I revisited all we had done. I can finish this. I'll just finish it the way I know we would have finished it. And then my dream is done. I got to do the follow-up album to the band 3 with this 3.2 album. It'll be, done, complete. So I did that, but the record company, that wanted to hear it. And I sent it to them, and they said, oh, my God, we got to put this out. This is so good.
Yeah.
And then the day before release, I'm thinking, oh, my God, it's coming out tomorrow. How are people going to judge this? Are they going to be critical? Should I have done this? Have I treaded on sacred ground? Have I done it justice? I didn't know what I had, honestly, because I had spent a year finishing it. It was so difficult. And, of course, emotionally difficult, but actually playing-wise, too, because all the keyboards weren't done. I had to sort of step up my keyboard. I had 8 years of classical piano when I was young, so I'm capable of playing, but I sort of left it behind. And to fill in all the parts that Keith hadn't got to yet, I had to really work on my keyboard skills. So it was a fun but tedious kind of year of recording. And then here it's coming out. I'm thinking, oh, no, I shouldn't have let this out. I shouldn't have let them talk me into it. And the day it came out, it sold out in 5 countries on Amazon.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, and it is a tribute. You obviously channeled your inner Keith keyboard, because it's amazing. I think when people put out something from the heart, regardless of what the project is, you can't. It's undeniable, and this may be the greatest work you've done because it's so important to you, and the fact that you got it right. I don't think you could miss, to be honest with you.
Well, I think what you said there, when you do something from the heart and people do connect with it because it's honest, that's something a lot of musicians probably don't figure out, and why they don't get. We don't really have hit records these days with all the streaming and stuff. Everybody just kind of gets out there and played. But when it comes from the heart and there's something that means a lot to you, I think the audience hears that and feels that all at the same time, and it grows your audience.
The lyrics, when people listen to lyrics, I mean, I have to tell you, when you talk about like the streaming and, the Grammys are out and stuff like that, and I listen to some of the artists that are nominated, and I'm like, what the hell has happened? Like, there's the words are just words. There's nothing
and over and over again,
nothing
same
behind them.
No,
there's
nothing.
no meat. There's no skill. It's just crap. And I feel like I sound like my parents did probably at some point, but there's nothing like the kind of stuff that you're putting out, and I hope that that you sleep feeling like you've done a service to your friend and the friendship. Really, it's wonderful. I loved it.
Oh, thank you. I have to say that with a lot of the rap and hip hop still like degrading women and using really bad language, and not that I'm a prude, but I think it's like having sex in a movie. You can have a really great movie without sex, but if you want to sell it easily, you put sex in there, right? So
exactly.
Things like language good. But now we're talking about banning Baby It's Cold Outside, right?
Right.
Holiday.
But you could beat up your baby mama and nobody cares. It's like
and grab your crotch while you're doing it.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Isn't that crazy? It really is crazy what's going on in music. But then again, when, like you said, you sound like your parents. Criticizing the next generation in music. But when I look back at it, my mom and dad had a big band, and they would play Frank Sinatra and all that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And when I listen to some of those lyrics, I go, wow, this stuff is so lame next to, like, say, Don Henley's End of the Innocence or something, which is, whoa. There's so many really deep, great lyrics in 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000 rock music that I look back at their music and think, oh, my God, that was so, like, simple.
Right.
Well, it was. It was. It was a simple. It was a simpler time. Somehow music became.
It was light.
Music is poetry in itself. Like it's lyrics that people got very deep. They actually started talking about social issues and feelings, like real feelings, and just and expressing themselves, and then just setting that to really great rock music. So I'm a rock and roll fan from day one. So I appreciate. I know.
Robert, will you be touring at all?
The plan is to tour next year. The manager says from South America to Russia and everything in between, but I think we're going to try to handle the U.S. first.
Yeah.
He's got big ideas, but I think we'll come to the U.S. But my thing with him is I said, look, I know you have these big ideas, you want to do this, and that's great, but I'd like to play the smaller places, the 250-seat, 300-seat places. I want to meet the people that like this album, like this music, and shake their hand, or sign their album if they want, whatever it is. I don't want. I play a lot of bigger places. I tour with Greg Kinn, and we'll play 2,500, 5,000 seat places. You don't really get to meet anybody.
Right.
Only the people that handpick to bring backstage for their contests and stuff. I'd like to sit there like December People does. We go right out afterwards. We sit at a table, and the whole audience can walk by and get something signed if they want to.
I love it. That's so much nicer.
2 hours, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that lets people feel appreciated. See, that makes an audience feel appreciated as much as people come, they pay money.
Yeah,
and it's nice to know that you want to interact with the people who support you.
And they are appreciated. I think more than ever, musicians sort of have to get on that level of, hey, you need to take care of your posse.
Yeah.
You really have to, because the playing field is so level and so wide, and there's so much bad music getting out, being accepted along with good music, and famous people making no money now on streaming, and the non-famous people making no money at all.
Yeah.
You really have to get out there and make it an art form that is kind of like radio. Like community radio is part of their community. The big stations, the corporate stations, they don't know what's going on in the community. They just want to make the money.
Mm-hmm.
But what radio really has is that community connection. Do some good, some charity work, be at events and stuff. And that's, I think, really the coolest thing about radio now. It's sort of flipping around. Even though all the big stations are making the money and all the DJs are losing their jobs and it's all syndicated, the stations that are part of their community are still doing well.
And podcasts like us,
Yes.
getting involved and getting a chance to really talk to people and talk to them at the level we want, not with somebody telling us what we can say and what we can't say. But I want to say one thing before we let you go, and I think that this is a message I'm hearing from you as a person. It sounds like when you lose somebody, and this is a really tough time of year for a lot of people. We look back at the people that we've lost, and I think part of your charm is that it sounds like you're using this to help your appreciation of being with your fans, being with people, taking the time, right, to enjoy the ride, because it really can be gone at any given point in time.
You're so right. I have to tell you, here's the problem with speaking to two women on the radio, that you two you two have a lot deeper emotion, a lot deeper connection. I get these guys all the time. Yeah, man, what kind of guitar was it?
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
You know? But you two are deep on the emotional thing, which I really love. I've enjoyed speaking to you. But at 12 o'clock today, it's, 10 o'clock, 9:30 my time here or so?
Yeah.
I have to speak. I speak at a funeral of a local keyboard player that was loved and well-liked. And I'm very honored that they've asked me to do it, but I've lost a few keyboard player friends, and one of them we're talking about right now that makes this a little bit tough for me. I'm hoping I can hold it together because, again, Keith Emerson is alive in my heart, but alive in everybody I talk to and the music that's out there. This was his last thing he ever did, and there's a responsibility to carry him with me and honor him with that, you know. And so I'll be speaking. This guy's name was Jack Ortolani. Nobody ever heard of. He came from New York, moved to California, played in all kinds of bands, and I'll be speaking in his funeral. So
wow.
Obviously, things do go quick. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I would have to say you're the right choice.
Absolutely.
For this family and for the friends, because you'll know exactly what to say. If you probably have something prepared, but I have a feeling you'll know exactly what to say at exactly the right time.
And you'll have your angel sitting on your shoulder,
yeah,
giving you some
he'll be poking you, going, "Hey, he's sitting right next to me.
Yeah,
say nice things."
And hopefully, when you do your
that.
tour, you come out to the East Coast. Hopefully, let us know when you're coming out to the East Coast. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, we'll have a cup of coffee.
Oh, definitely. Hey, that's my thing.
There you go.
John Lappin, my PR guy, is fantastic. He will definitely let you know. I want to meet you two in person and have you to the show. We're going to go everywhere. They're just setting it up, and it's a big undertaking. So if I had anything date-wise to tell you, I would. But, you know, they kind of have to do it as a package. The routing and everything is so important to make it go all through the United States like a big centipede, you know.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to what the future holds for you. And thank you so much for your time today.
It was awesome.
Merry Christmas to you,
yes,
and a wonderful new year, and much success with this album. Keith is watching.
And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and thanks for all the great commentary. We actually had a conversation, not an interview, and I love that.
Love it. Do you want to give your website out?
Yeah. Do you want to give out any contact information? Good point. Do you want to give out any contact information?
Well, you know, you could go to robertberry.com. I will say that on the website, starting in January, I have a signed Geiger print. Geiger was the artist that did ELP's Brain Salad Surgery album cover, and I have a print of that a guy has supplied for me to sort of do a contest and give away. And it's signed by Geiger. He's a world-renowned artist and a director, all kinds of stuff. And if you're a fan of ELP at all, you're going to really be excited to try to get this thing, because it's a beautiful, you know, like 3-by-2 foot piece of artwork.
I saw that. You have a guitar pick away and everything or something, don't you? It's like a nice little package. It's really nice.
On the website, it's not up for the contest yet, but you know, I want to do something for Keith's memory and everything that includes the album and everything, my history with Carl Palmer and Keith Emerson. It's just, again, it's for the fans of the music, and I could get a hold of this thing, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to get it. I'm going to give it away.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Really nice.
And
I love the whole charity thing. We're going to check out, we're going to be posting this interview so everybody can listen, and of course, we'll follow up with some social media of our own. But I definitely want to check out these December People videos.
Yeah,
they sound like a lot of fun.
I love mashups.
Continue doing that, though, because you know what? Great. Charity makes you feel good. When you take it away from yourself and you focus on other people, it's a good thing.
No, definitely, and that's why the band is together. The albums were out anyway at a certain point, but I thought, you know, if we're going to do more albums, we need to do it for a cause. You'll see, when you see, especially the Tom Petty one, you'll get a kick out of that, and you'll see it. I don't know if you play music on the show. Do you play music?
Well, we have some, unfortunately with podcasting and even with broadcasting, we have some limitations on licensing, and we certainly don't want to hurt anybody and take away. So we have some problems with that. I'm never really sure what we can do. Like, I wasn't even sure if I could play some of your music, even though it's your music, because it might be licensed to your label. It's like, I don't want to go to jail.
BMI and ASCAP.
I don't look good in orange, Robert. I don't look good in orange. I just don't.
Well, you know, YouTube puts everything out there, and anybody can listen to it and take it for free, and no one gets any money, nothing.
There you
go.
So
I can't imagine if you streamed it off of YouTube.
I know, right?
If they could get you get in any trouble at all.
Well,
but anyway,
we'll send them to you. We want to see.
appreciate
We
it.
want to see the album sell. So
Yes.
once again, have a very, very happy holiday,
Yes.
and thank
Merry
you so
Christmas.
much for your time.
You too. It's great.
Have a
talking
great
to you,
day,
both of
Robert.
you.
Be well.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
That's good. That's good.